Well, good evening, everyone. We'd like to call our Monday, March 13th, Fayetteville City Council meeting to order. Welcome all of those who are in our audience tonight. Many of you will be recognized in just a moment, and welcome to those who are joining us remotely. At this time, we ask that Dr. Carrie Cameron, pastor of Upper Room Family Fellowship. Dr. Cameron, if you come to the podium, we ask that all would please stand for the invocation. Immediately following, if we could repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Cameron, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Could we all close our eyes and bow our head? Father, we want to thank you for this opportunity that you have given us, the privilege for us to come together and work as one unit. We thank you that you are our leader. We thank you for the leadership that's here on this evening. Thank you for everyone that represents you, everyone that represents the city. We thank you for this opportunity. We ask that you continue to bless Fayetteville, North Carolina. Continue to use your people for your glory. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Dr. Cameron, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Thank you for the prayer. If you could take just a minute and tell us about yourself, your ministry.
Sure, thank you. My name is Dr. Cameron. I'm the founder of the Upper Room Family Fellowship Church. I'm also the founder of the Upper Room Theological University, the very first university that was founded by an African-American woman here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm also the founder of NC TAP, which is North Carolina Teen Alcohol Prevention 1, where we educate our children on underage drinking. I'm also a member of the PVSA, and what that is the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. So my university gives out volunteer service awards that's signed by President Biden.
That is phenomenal. So thank you for your work, and let's give her a round of applause for the great work. So at this time, Council, I know we haven't heard from Mr. Bullitt in a while. Mr. Scott Bullitt, if you would come and give us an update to COVID and other issues of concern in the community. How are you, sir?
Very good, sir. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and audience. It's been a while. We've traded a lot of numbers in terms of days and so forth. Notwithstanding the 890 days that we spend under a state of emergency here locally. But I think what I would start you with tonight that we need to keep our eye on, that in 59 days, the federal incident period or their state of emergency will sundown. Now, what that simply means is that the bills kind of with FEMA and some of the other federal agencies will cut off. So that's something to keep our eye on. I know the county is a little concerned with some of the nutritional stuff and some of the Medicaid items of concern that I'm not an expert on, I wouldn't pretend to, but I know that they concern those that are receiving those benefits. We could get lost in the numbers. I tell you, one of the problems I have right now that we didn't have before is they're only reporting stuff weekly, and then some things are kind of left without the hands on the wheel. So what I would throw out is something that we all should be able to identify with, and this will get to a point I want to make. Up until last week, we've had 182 flu deaths, and everybody in the room here should be familiar with what the flu was like. If you use the same time period with COVID, you're at 1,359. So some would say things have kind of settled down. It's up to the medical professionals to tell us when this thing becomes endemic, meaning it's not going to go away, it's going to be part of our daily life. But I would point to the fact that the coronavirus is where the common cold came from. We've all spent our whole lives with that. It just so happens one showed up over 3 years ago that was not something that could be managed. The biggest concern to my shop at the moment, you've heard me say this, I've said this to all of you before, is we worry about congregate activities like sheltering. Should we have a hurricane strike the coast? What will we do with the folks? Because COVID and any of the respiratory diseases make it a problem because we can't put people close together. That's something our eyeball is on. I also want to report that Lucira, I'm not getting paid for the commercial, but they have finally a combination COVID flu home test on the market right now. So I think over time, you're going to see that rapidly grow where you can just test at home. And I'm subject to any questions you might have. I'll do my best. I've got lots of numbers, but fundamentally, we didn't see the surge at the beginning of the year that we saw last year. Praise the Lord for that.
Thank you, Mr. Bullitt. I'm glad to hear that. Council, any questions for Mr. Bullitt? Mr. Bullitt, we thank you for the update. That was some good news, silver lining. So we're not out of the woods, but certainly a lot better. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Council, moving along to to recognitions. Ask that we would please ask Ms. Dawn Dula, Operations Manager, and Ms. Sherry Christian from Transit to meet me at the podium.
All right, the transit folks, welcome.
Thank you.
I believe the mayor has the official, yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to go ahead and start. Whereas on Saturday, March 18, 2023, public transit systems across the country will observe Transit Driver Appreciation Day to recognize the transit drivers for their skill, hard work, customer service, and dedication to improving the quality of life in communities they serve. And whereas the day raises awareness for frontline transit employees who safely move our community forward by connecting people to jobs, educational institutions, medical facilities, leisure activities, and Fort Bragg. And whereas the city of Fayetteville would like to acknowledge the commitment and dedication shown by transit drivers who are required to multitask to maintain a schedule, check fares, give directions, announce stops, remember stop requests, and courteously greet the transit customers we serve, all while safely maneuvering an extra-large vehicle through unpredictable traffic, adverse weather conditions, and tight spaces. And whereas it is also recognized that other transit employees support the transit drivers with vehicle maintenance, customer information, dispatching, and other assistance behind the scenes to ensure our fixed route and paratransit services are there every day to almost 5,012 riders. Now, therefore, Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the 18th day of March, 2023, to be Transit Driver Appreciation Day in our city, and encourage citizens to thank transit drivers for their work and dedication to the City of Fayetteville. In witness whereof, Mayor Colvin has hereunto set his hand and caused the Great Seal of the City of Fayetteville to be affixed this 3rd day of February, 2023. Mitch Colvin, Mayor.
Well, congratulations. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Sherry Christian, and I have worked for the City of Fayetteville Transit Department for almost 25 years. I'm a native of, thank you. Thank you. I'm a native of our city. I graduated from Terry Sanford High School along with our councilman, DJ Hare, and our County Commissioner, Charles Evans. Working with our city has given me a chance to give back to my community. I am the most senior transit operator at FAST, and during my 25 years, I have seen a lot of positive changes. When I first started at FAST, we had no Sunday service. I have driven every type of transit vehicle, from a 20-foot paratransit vehicle to a 40-foot motor coach. While at Transit, I have been under 4 directorships: Mr. Jerome Brown, Mr. Ron Macaluso, Mr. Randy Hume, and our first female transit director, Mrs. Tiffany Neal. When everything else stood still during COVID, our transit department kept our city moving. My colleagues and I worked tirelessly for 6 days a week for 30 consecutive months. That's 2.5 years. Now, if this is not dedication to our can-do city, I don't know what is. I definitely see transit moving in a good direction for the future. I see changes being made and becoming the transit system of choice. We are excited to be getting new bus stop signs and new shelters. I see our transit moving in a good direction to compete with other larger city transits. And our transit director, Mrs. Neal, has a lot of great ideas to help us accomplish this. So once again, I would like to say thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council, for the recognition tonight of our transit drivers and for recognizing us for all the great work that we have done and that we are still doing for our city. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Certainly, transit is the lifeblood of any city, and you all certainly stepped up to the plate and kept our city moving. So please know that your efforts are not unnoticed, and we greatly appreciate your service. Thank you. All right, Council, I'll go to Councilmember DJ Hare for a special presentation to Ms. Thompson.
Thompson family, please come forward. First, Mayor, just thank you for doing this proclamation for us. If I could, as they are coming, many of you may be aware of the Chains Seafood Restaurant that's in the Bonnie Doon area, where I have gone over a number of years to get fish. Come on up, y'all. Come on up. Where's Jennifer? I'm gonna hold that hand. And the owners, their mother and father, son, and Charles were just big in our community. Over 30 some odd years plus. They'll be able to speak on that later. And what better way to commemorate them? They have both passed within the last year or so. And it was kind of heavy on me. And I'm just honored that we are here to honor their mother and their father, their family, their business. And now we will receive the proclamation from Council Member
Thompson, not related, Mrs. Thompson. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Mrs. Sun Thompson was born August 11th, 1958, and whereas Mrs. Thompson and her husband were well known in the city of Fayetteville by the business they ran together, Chang Seafood Market, from 1996 to 2023. And whereas Mrs. Thompson led by example with her strong work ethic, honesty, reliability, and consistency. She was an exemplary community servant and leader throughout Bonnie Doon and beyond. And whereas Mrs. Thompson was a giver of knowledge and wisdom and a helping hand in her community, a mother figure to many, a listening ear, and a master at her craft. She showed the younger generation and people around her that hard work and dedication, you can build a successful business. And whereas Mrs. Thompson was a faithful servant of God, she donated to many charities throughout the years and supported many families in her time of need. And whereas Mrs. Thompson was married to James Charles Thompson II for 30 years, they have 5 children, Jennifer McNair, Sabrina McNair, Tanya Allen, Edward McNair, and James Charles Thompson III. Now, therefore, I, Mitch Coven, of the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council and more than 208,000 citizens, do hereby honorably proclaim a celebration of life on this 27th day of February in the year 2023 for Mrs. Sutton Thompson. And witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of this city of Fayetteville to be affixed this 8th day of February 2023. Signed, Mitch Coven, Mayor.
You all like to say something, you could. This also the corn to the city is for you also.
Thank you all for recognizing my parents.
I just want to say, on the behalf of the Thompson family, I'm grateful and honored to be able to stand before you, the mayor, the city council, and for you guys just recognizing gentle giants, because that's what my brother and sister really were, as the city council just said, for 30-some plus years, almost 40 years, and we greatly appreciate it as representing the whole entire Thompson family.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for the years of dedication and service to the community by your parents. At this time, we'll move to
National procurement.
the National Procurement Month. We can have the purchasing manager, Ms. Toon, Ms. Donna Hare, Ms. Kimberly Locklear, Ms. Nicole Howard, Ms. Amberly Ives, Ms. Daughtry, Ms. Michelle Hare, Mr. Dante Watson, and any others. Ms. Toon, how are you? I'll meet you right down.
All right, we will begin the proclamation. Whereas the purchasing, acquisition, procurement, and materials management professions have a significant role in the quality and efficiency of business and government throughout the United States. And whereas professionals in the purchasing, acquisition, procurement, and materials management fields work for private, public, profit, and nonprofit organizations, and whereas purchasing professionals engage in or have a direct responsibility for purchasing and managing materials, supervising and monitoring the flow and storage of materials, implementing and administering contracts, developing forecast and procurement strategies, and establishing working relationships with suppliers and other departments within the organization. And whereas procurement professionals make important contributions to assure the responsible use of taxpayer dollars by providing efficient service while maintaining high ethical standards. And whereas procurement professionals have tremendous influence on the economic conditions in the United States, with an accumulative procurement power running into the billions of dollars. Now, therefore, Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby honorably proclaim the month of March in the year 2023 as National Procurement Month. In witness whereof, Mayor Colvin has hereunto set his hand and caused the great seal of the City of Fayetteville to be affixed on the first day of February 2023. Mayor Colvin. We've got to hear from Ms. Toon.
Good evening. First, I want to thank you all for recognizing our staff. My staff also include purchasing from transit for Ms. Tierra, who is the D-Blow, and Deontay from the airport, and Michelle Hare, who's not here, but they manage our federal funds a lot. So I wanted to include them into this proclamation because they do bring in a lot to our purchasing department. But I can't do it by myself. First, I want to thank my boss, Mrs. Jody Piccarelli, for leading the finance department. I thank Mr. Hewitt, and I cannot do this alone without our legal team because they are there supporting us when we don't know the answers. So I thank Karen and her team for always being there to support us and to help us do the things that we're trying to do, and that is to serve the citizens of Fayetteville the best that we know, and to be fair and consistent with the city dollars. So again, I thank you all for this recognition, and we look forward to bringing more.
Thank you all. Ms. Toon and team, thank you for the work that you do. At this time, I'll turn it over to Councilmember Jensen. and has a special announcement in recognition of this special month. So, Councilmember Jensen and other council ladies.
Ladies, would you, from the staff, would you like to come up with us? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For those of you that do not know, I'm asking the women of staff to come up too. March is Women's History Month, so very important month, and want to know everybody. And just a little fun fact, if you notice, Ms. Toon's office was all women, if I wasn't mistaken, all women, so yes. And the Transit Driver Appreciation Day, the director is a woman. The proclamation for Miss Sun Thompson, well, she was a woman. And we have the E. Smith girls basketball team, and we're going to let the boys come along for the ride too. But just wanted to know, March is a great day for, great month for women. So I'm going to read the proclamation that Mayor Colvin allowed us to do for her Fayetteville. Whereas March is National Women's History Month and March 8th, 2023 is International Women's Day. And whereas women have been leaders not only securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolishment movement, emancipation movement, industrial labor movement, civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which creates a fair and just society for all. And whereas women have played and contributed to play critical economic, cultural, and social roles to every aspect of life. And whereas women in every race, class, ethnic background have made historic contributions to growth and strength of our city in countless record and unrecorded ways. And whereas women of every race, class, ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of many major progressive social change movements. And whereas women have played a unique role throughout history by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force, and where particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropical, and cultural institutions in the United States. And whereas women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas women make up the majority of America's essential workers and work tirelessly to keep families and communities in our country afloat. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of women in history has consistently overlooked, undervalued in the literature, teaching, and studying of American history. And whereas her Fayetteville is a cohort designed by women for women, creating strategic partnerships and collaborating national network and infrastructure to continue leadership progression in women and family. Now, therefore, I, Mitch Colvin, the mayor of the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina, on behalf of the city council and more than 208,000 citizens, do hereby honorably proclaim March, the year 2023, the week for Women's History Month. And call upon residents of Fayetteville to observe March as Women's History Month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, activities, and to support her Fayetteville movement and her week celebrations. In witness thereof, I hereby set my hand and cause of the Great Seal of the City of Fayetteville to be affixed this 6th day of March 2023. Mayor Mitch Colvin. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Jensen. And we know it's obvious we can't live without you all. So thank you. You play a critical role in the operation of the government and in life. So thank you for that. And happy National Women's History Month to everyone. At this time, as the ladies are taking their seats, I'll go to Councilmember Benavente, special guest in the audience for special recognition, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin. Yes, best for last. If at this time I can ask for Coach Hardy and Coach Tillman to please join Mayor Colvin in the City Hall well here. We have a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor. I'm going to call a small audible, Mayor Colvin, and also include the names of the players just so that they're read into the record for all of history. So whereas Ezekiel Ezra Smith High School has been home of the mighty Golden Bulls since 1927, and whereas the E.E. Smith High School 2022-2023 varsity girls basketball roster includes Skylar White, Amelia Hunt, Azaria Brunson, Jarrell Murchison, Mia Cordero, Kishana Murphy, Jonna Tuapulo, Anya Hall, DeCray Ray, Lily Lemke, Anicia Haywood, Amy Boa, Rayana Cogdale, Kalia Speller, and staff Latanya Hardy, Marlon Hardy, Greg King, and Lakeisha Williams. And whereas the E.E. Smith High School 2022-23 varsity boys roster includes Malik Brunson, Travis Stroud, Joshua Smith, Aaron Miller, James Scott, Jelani Gaddy, Jonathan Williams, Michael Johnson, DeCarlo Brunson, Derek Green, Zyreek Speller, David Adams, Jameer Crisp, Nyshawn Williams, and staff Timothy Haley, Brandon Holmes, and Jaquay McMillan. And whereas the Smith girls and boys varsity basketball teams are conference tournament champions, and whereas E.E. Smith girls and boys varsity basketball teams were ranked #1 and #2 in the state, and whereas E.E. Smith girls and boys varsity basketball team players won the Player of the Year awards, respectively, and whereas boys varsity basketball coach Brian Tillman was voted Conference Coach of the Year, and whereas girls basketball coach Latanya Hardy was selected as Conference and District Coach of the Year. Now, therefore, I, Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council of more than 208,000 citizens, do hereby proclaim the 13th day of March in the year of 2023 to be E.E. Smith High School Girls and Boys Varsity Basketball Champions Day.
All right.
All right. Well, Coach, wow, proud Golden Bull, but you all have the floor, so you have
Well,
at it, sir.
With that being said, thank you, Mayor, but with that being said, we're going to let the ladies go first.
There you go. Smart man. Coach Hardy, how are you?
Thanks, Coach Tillman. Mayor Colvin, council members, I want to thank you. It's such an honor. A lot of times young people work so hard behind the scenes and they're never recognized. They put in a lot of work starting in August and run through March. And with that, we're fortunate with the young people that we have because we also get them involved in the community. For the young ladies, they have gone through and done work basketball camps for 6 and under youth, as well as camps for 7 up to 17, and they volunteer their hours countlessly. So there's just a lot of things that they do behind the scenes to give back to the city. Thank you all for representing us, and thank you for 1800. Thank you for all that you have done for the Golden Bulls.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Hardy. Again, thank you, Mayor, City Council. I want to give a big thank you to our leadership at 1800 Seabrook Road, Ezekiel Ezra Smith High School. I believe our AD is here, Mr. Darrell Purcell. Raise your hand, Mr. Purcell. Also would like to thank Mr. Larry Parker, our principal, for giving me the opportunity to work with these outstanding young men. At E. Smith, we believe in dominating the 3 C's, and those 3 C's include classroom first. You gotta do what you're supposed to do in the classroom before you can get to dominating the court. This year, we had a lot of success in dominating the court. As you said, they're both conference and regular season champions, seconds away from getting to that state championship game. But we did overall dominate the court, which led us to that third seed, and that is dominating in the community, positively affecting change in our community. And as you see today, these young men sitting here, they dominated all 3 C's. So with that being said, I want to congratulate you guys again. Parents, thank you for allowing me to be your head coach. Thank you to E. Smith and all the community of Fayetteville. We appreciate this opportunity. Thank you guys, and God bless you.
Coach Tillman, Coach Hardy.
Coach Tillman, if you can invite the young ladies and young men up so that we can get a picture. And just like to say, Dr. Parker, class of 91, E. Smith Golden Bull.
There you go.
Fellow classmate.
Yes.
So if you all come right around, we'll get some pictures.
See you, sir.
It's all right.
Come on around. Come on in.
I know, honey, you a senior?
Hey, guys,
That's all right.
push the chair in, okay?
There you go, there you go.
I see you, girl.
Make sure you can see the camera.
I see the camera.
Camera hog. What's going on, Mr. Stroud? Proud of you, boy.
Can we get a countdown?
1, 2, 3.
This isn't in it. We can crop that out.
Save money.
All right, thank you,
Very
team.
good, team. Good job.
Hey, stop. Hey.
Oh, we did have a comment, coaching team from Councilmember Ingram.
Thank you. So this is more of a personal privilege. I'm going to ask that Josh Smith stand. Josh. Yeah, Josh. So many people don't. If you know me and my family, you know that my grandmother only claimed one grandchild, and that was me. With the exception of Josh Smith, you were her pride and joy, and you know that. And I'm sure that she would be extremely proud of you right now. Anything that went on in our household was revolved around Josh. And taking him to the basketball court, taking him here. He needs to make sure he has this. So I am sure that she is very proud of you and would be very happy to see the accomplishments that you have made. And also to Mikey, who I've known since a baby. Congratulations to you as well. And congratulations to all of you for the accomplishments that you are doing in our community. You don't realize right now, but you are making significant change for the future and your future selves. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ingram. Council, as we move forward to the city manager's report, Mr. Hewitt. Okay, seeing none, I will give a few minutes for you all. Thank you, keep up the good work. Let's get those championships next year too. All right, council, we'll move to item 6.0 is approval of the agenda. Can we have a motion to approve the agenda? All right, there's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem, and then we'll go to iPads after this. Is there a second to the motion by Councilmember Hondros? All right, discussion on the motion to approve the agenda? All right, council, let's go to the iPads for our votes. Council will do show of hands. All right, motion carries. Item 7.0 is the consent. Councilmember Benavente.
Yes, Mayor Colvin, I'd ask that we pull item 7.05 from the consent agenda.
All right, is that approval with the exception of that item?
Yes, Mayor Colvin.
All right, so there's a motion by Councilmember Benavente to approve the consent with the exception of item 7.05. Any discussion on that motion? All right, council, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin, you up?
I'm sorry, weren't we adding an item?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I mean, is your iPad connected? Okay, all right, show of hands, those in favor of the motion to approve consent with the exception of 7.05? All right, Councilmember Benavente? Okay. All right, yeah. All right, show of hands, council, so we can keep the agenda moving. All right, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Those voting, motion carries. Item 7.05 is Councilmember Benavente. You have the floor, sir.
Attorney McDonald, if you could share with us, after we have a public hearing on this particular item in April, what is the exact process for making sure that it goes to the November ballot?
Councilman Benavente, as it relates to item 7.05, if the item is approved, the next step would be to have a public hearing on April the 10th. After the public hearing at your next regularly scheduled meeting, which is scheduled for April the 24th, the council could at that time vote to amend the terms of the council to 4 staggered terms. The council could make that decision contingent upon a referendum, or as I said previously, could just vote to make that change.
Thank you, Attorney McDonald.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve 7.05, the adoption of proposed resolution of intent, 4-year staggered terms.
All right, there's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Dawkins to approve the intent notification or resolution of intent to set the public hearing, seconded by Councilmember Thompson. Discussion, Councilmember Ingram.
Yes, thank you. Madam Attorney, I have a quick question. Is it possible to add like an alternate intent within this intent? So if there was to be asked 2-year staggered.
I'm sorry, are you saying at this process to add 2-year staggered terms?
Within this intent,
Not with this resolution.
I'm sorry?
Not with this resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Benavente, you had another point?
Thank you, Mayor Coleman. This is an important time for our city to pay attention to this upcoming public hearing that will likely be placed on the April calendar as an important time to make your voice heard about whether you feel as though the city of Fayetteville should move to 4-year terms unilaterally. The issue is one that has previously gone before the people in the form of referendum on the November ballot, and I think it's crucial that if we want to make such a drastic change to the way that this city operates, that it once again goes to the vote of the people. It should not rely simply on city council to benefit themselves by changing the rules, to give themselves a more time, which again is a benefit, without the necessary check from the community. I think it's crucial that folks recognize that the issue of moving to 4-year terms has come before a ballot 5 times in the city's history. And every single time, every single district in this entire city has said, no, you don't get 4-year terms. You will check in with the people every 2 years, and we will decide whether or not you earned another 2 years. My biggest concern is that the majority of this council is looking to avoid putting this to a ballot vote in November. And I want the people of the city to come in full force to let them know that they demand for this issue to be on the ballot so that they can have their voice heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Benavente. Councilmember Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because I don't want to step on nobody's toes, and I don't want to adhere to nobody's specific agenda on why they think this, somebody's agenda think that this is about us. I brought this because it's not about us. It's about saving the city money, time, effort, and stability. As a freshman council member, only being on the council for 7 months, somebody should ask them the question, why is it important to me? Because I see what it takes to run a city. I see what it takes to learn what you need to learn. I see what it takes to see things around us changing. Some things, what they don't tell you, is that just last Thursday, the Senate in Raleigh just started a Senate bill to change terms from 2 years to 4 years in 4 different counties. They all talk about how we need to emulate peer cities and do what they're doing. Well, what was the uproar when Greensboro unilaterally just changed their election cycle without a referendum? Nobody complained then because it was best for the city. People think that politicians just want to sit on council and do what they want to do. I had a gentleman tell me today, well, you need to learn politics. Well, the problem is I'm not a politician, and I'm not thinking like a politician. I'm thinking like a concerned citizen to look out what's best for the city. There's a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, everything has its ups and downs. Everything has its ins and outs. Everything has its wrongs and rights. But just because something was done 5 years ago, that means we're not supposed to try it again now? People think that we need to send everything to the people. I love to hear from the people. I asked at our last council member for you to reach out to your council members and ask them why they think this is a good or a bad situation. If that's the way you feel, come April 10th and let your voice be heard. I will listen. This is not about me. This is about what's best for the city that can save you taxpayers money. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, sir. All right, round 2. Councilman Benavente, you had something? All right, and again, just to clarify the motion that's on the floor, this is a notice of intent, which is the first step to set the public hearing. Then the public will have an opportunity to weigh in on this issue. It comes back before council. So tonight's vote is simply to start that process of notification of this. And this, just to be clear, was a proposal to extend the council terms to 4 years, not the mayoral term, which was remain at 2, or some other derivative if there's a separate action taken if this once it's debated. So tonight is for the intent to set the public hearing. So council, we've had discussion. We'll look to you for your votes. Councilmember Benavente, you vote? Okay, all right. All right, motion carries to resolution of intent to set public hearing, 8-2. Those voting in favor, Councilmember or Mayor Colvin, Councilmember Ingram, Councilmember all right, so yeah, opposition, Benavente and Jensen, and we'll deductively reason the rest of it. All right.
Back on our monitor.
I know, read too slow. They need to turn these monitors so I can actually see.
Back on
All
our
right.
monitor.
So, all right, council, we'll look forward to that in the public's input. All right, moving to item 9.01, the presentation of appointments committee recommendations for board. Oh, 8.0 is the public forum. Moving too fast tonight. All right, public forum. This is a time that Fayetteville residents may have input and a voice on what goes on in their city. Due to policy restrictions, the forum will not last any longer than 30 minutes, and each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes to address the City Council on issues related to the City of Fayetteville. Individuals desired to speak at tonight's public forum should have signed up with the City Clerk prior to the start of tonight's meeting. If you're here to speak on items that may be on tonight's agenda under public hearing, I ask that you would please reserve your comments until the public hearing. Speakers will be courteous in their language and presentation and shall refrain from personal attacks. Those seated in the audience, we ask that you please refrain from clapping, yelling, or any audio expressions of approval or disapproval of the comments that are made during the forum to be fair to those speaking. Failure to abide by these rules may subject the offender to removal from the council chamber. So when your name is called by the city clerk, ask that you please come to the podium. Please clearly state your name and address for the record. Then, when you're notified, your time will begin. At 30 seconds, you'll be notified, and at the conclusion of your time, you'll be notified that your time has expired. Again, due to policy restrictions, we're unable to extend the given time and to engage in dialogue with the speakers. With that being said, Madam Clerk, please call your first speaker.
Yes, ma'am. We have 5 speakers signed up for this evening. Our first speaker is Miss Lizette Rodriguez.
Good evening, Ms. Rodriguez.
Hello. Hello, Council and Mayor Colvin. My name is Lisette Rodriguez. I'm 25. I was born and raised here in Fayetteville. Some of you guys might be familiar with my community group, Fayetteville Freedom for All. We did a lot of work around the Vote No referendum. And I'm also the one who designed the Say Yes to OCS flyers that have been floating around here recently. I'm going to talk fast because I have a lot I want to talk about. But I'm here today to talk with you about instituting an Office of Community Safety in Fayetteville and to invite all of the council, city staff, Fayetteville Police Department, and every citizen listening to a community town hall on Monday, March 20th at 6 p.m. at Smith Recreation Center. Firstly, I'd like to thank the 5 councils who supported this concept of an Office of Community Safety. I'll use OCS for short. During a previous work session, and to those who are on the fence, I hope you will take what I have to say to heart and will join us at our town hall. The Fayetteville Police Department receives 4,000 mental health calls a month, and 1 in 5 adults or children experience mental health illnesses throughout their lifetime. And 3 out of the 4 most recent police killings by the Fayetteville Police Department occurred during a mental health or wellness check. In a recent report from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, there has been a 103% increase in suicides of young people from 2011 to 2020. And the numbers are very clear. Our city and our nation are experiencing a growing mental health crisis. And I think we can all agree that our law enforcement officers who are not trained mental health clinicians should not have to use their time and resources to respond to these calls for help. And instead, citizens need a dedicated entity to support them during these times of crises. And that's what an OCS would do. Police Chief Braden had mentioned himself that he doesn't like dealing with issues related to addiction, mental health, or poverty. So why are we still placing this burden upon our officers? And why is the city letting our most vulnerable populations continue to suffer? Why are we continuing to spend money on reactive solutions instead of being proactive? And to those who are concerned about how this would be paid for, an OCS would save the city money in the long term. For example, in Eugene, Oregon, their Cahoots program uses 2% of the $90 million police budget and saves the city an estimated $8.5 million on public safety annually. And in addition to that, it saves the city $14 million on emergency medical system costs. In Richmond, California, when their OCS was established in 2007, Richmond had the highest homicide rate in California. And 10 years later, the city's homicide rate had fallen by 80%. These are just a few examples and benefits that we'll go into at our town hall. And I hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Mayor, our next speaker is Miss Laura Kane.
Good evening, Ms. Kane.
My name is Laura Kane, and I live at 3405 Chris Kate Place in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in Millstone Landing Apartments. I feel like I live in the city, but I have been told I live in the outskirts of the city. Okay? So if we deal with that, it concerns me that no matter which part of the city you live in the inskirts or the outskirts, however you want to phrase that, there are roads, bridges, and pipes that need repair that I don't see us working on. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, and it scares me that all of those things can get way ahead of us in a real quick hurry. I had presented to the city council some funding that I thought we could pursue, and I hope that we can get that. We did secure some funding for Grays Creek and the outskirts of getting some water structure done. That's awesome. That's really awesome. If we can get a certain company, and I'm not going to mention who or what, to pay for what I feel they have destroyed, maybe we will get further down that road. However, I fear that we are going to get way ahead of our money, that we only have so much money in our wallet, and we're not going to have enough no matter what day it is. So I've been working on trying to find more sources of federal funding, more sources of state funding, more sources of any kind of funding, because we have to figure out how to pay for it. And I'm hoping that we will work this out in the long run, but I am not sure how at this point. And I hope that we figure it out. I just don't like that plan as a plan. We could figure out a lot of things, but sometimes we don't figure it out, and then we don't have any more money, and then what do we do? So I am hoping that all of this will work itself out in the wash, if you will, that we will figure out how we're going to pay for all this. Water, the sewer, the roads, and I lived in another state, New Hampshire, and we 30 years down the road here. And we soak the taxpayers for all kinds of money. I am not kidding. And, now we can't do that anymore. We just can't. We don't have it. We can't afford it. We don't know what we're going to do. It scares me. We're here now. I hope we figure out how we're going to pay for this. I hope we figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King.
Our next speaker is Mr. Chilenko Hurst.
Mr. Hurst, how are you?
I start off today, before I humbly come before the council and the citizens of Fayetteville, to give you some examples of how overzealous some of our North Carolina general statutes are. Specifically, North Carolina, one of the best examples of North Carolina general statutes, 14-39. As I stand right here, if I was to step to where Ms. Lissette is right now and move her to right here, that is kidnapping. Where she stands right now, if I was to move her arm and she comes stand beside me, that is kidnapping. How do I know? Because in 2009, I got 6 charges like that. 6 of them. Then you turn around, thank you, Ms. Lissette. Then you turn around, about 90 days ago, another example of overzealous law enforcement. Me and Mr. Sean McMillan was outside of City Hall, and all he had was some music, and I had my cell phone. We were charged with resisting arrest by the same individual that y'all voted to be your new police chief. It hasn't been a good 2 years, as another classic example of overzealous law enforcement, that myself, my grandkids, veterans, regular citizens, and elderly, for some reason, someone in this room called the National Guard, and they drew their guns on us at the Slave Market House right down the street. Those are the three examples as we sit in this room. I'm glad that everyone honored the black youth that was here from E. Smith, but as black parents, take this with you. From 1947 to 1988, black mothers in the state of North Carolina were illegally sterilized. So some of those babies that we just clapped for wouldn't be here. And the only thing the General Assembly passed is $50,000. But they put $21 billion in the well funding for Camp Lejeune, and you can get up to $260,000. 78% of the Marines in this country are Caucasian citizens. So you sent a clear message to black parents, not only in the state of North Carolina, but this whole country, when you put a cap of $50,000. Lastly, let me close by saying there's a criteria in Fayetteville for shelter for the homeless for inclement weather, 32 degrees. It would be more humane if we raised that to 42 degrees. Thank you for your time, consideration. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Hirsch.
Mayor, our next speaker is Mr. Chris Welch.
Mr. Welch, good evening.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Welch. I own Badger Box Mobile Storage. We provide 16 and 20-foot portable storage containers for temporary storage uses, primarily being involved with moving, renovation, restoration type projects, or convenient at-hand storage for businesses that are looking to grow and expand. We began our first location 4 years ago in Wilmington, North Carolina, and this past summer I opened up our second location here in Fayetteville. Now, these are very high-quality units designed specifically for storing and protecting household items, and we deliver them to our customer's address and can have the ability to move them fully loaded to a new destination. Now, I'm here today to discuss the current zoning ordinance regarding regulations for certain temporary uses and structures, specifically Clause 3, duration, which limits the use of shipping containers on property to no more than 30 days. This has proven to be problematic for my business and my customers. Our customer that's most affected by this policy is our restoration and renovation customer, where the goal is to protect their belongings and bring their home back to livable conditions as quickly and efficiently as possible. Even under the best of circumstances, this is unlikely to happen in the construction world in under 30 days. For instance, my latest customer that had a citation had a water leak in his home and had to remove the contents to prevent them from further damage while he worked with his insurance company to cover the damages and find a contractor to fix the damages. So he's had everything moved out of his house to protect it, gets a notification that he's got to remove the box and doesn't know what to do with the contents. Now, I believe this is a violation of the homeowner's property rights and the rights to protect their property, and it's not something that really has a place to be handled at a city level. It's more of an HOA issue. Now, these units, on top of being beneficial to the customers and kind of rebuilding the city and improving property values, moving people to the city, it also has a tax benefit to the city. Whereas the boxes that I deliver to a customer's site and stay on site for storage until the end of the project are subject to sales tax, whereas moving or regular self-storage units are not. Now, as a business that's still a startup in this market and in ramp-up mode, this policy is very concerning to me. I'm not a large corporation. This is my business, and I've got everything invested into this business, and really just don't feel this current policy has the best interest of my customers, the city of Fayetteville, or my business in mind. Now, I've got a few suggestions. One would be a reclassification of my style unit from a shipping container, which it does not classify, an extension of the length of rental period allowed, or an easily attainable permit for a construction type job that may not require a permit to keep it there longer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Hugh, didn't we stay that particular part of the ordinance when we had COVID and evictions? I remember bringing that forward. Where are we on that?
Well, I would tell the gentleman, thank you for choosing Fayetteville. And if you would tell your clients when they need more time, if they would just request it. The planning department works overtime to make sure that we are accommodating as a can-do city. But yes, Mayor, we did look at that, and this is an anomaly that if they've requested more time when they received the letter, they were not given it. But we'll be happy to take a look at that if you'll wait around after the meeting.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Our final speaker is Mr. Sean McMillan.
Mr. McMillan, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Sean McMillan, and I'd like to echo the invitation to the Say Yes to the OCS Town Hall event on the 20th of this month. We'd love to see all council members, especially the city manager, Douglas Hewitt, and as many staff members as possible. There's been coalition space built around the idea of building infrastructure for community safety, and when this is resourced properly, it will stand as a move towards addressing systemic failures in our traditional understanding of public safety. For anyone listening to this for the first time, this Office of Community Safety, as proposed, will employ NACO credentialed oversight practitioner as a director, will establish mental health professional response to mental health crisis, similar to the Durham Hearts model, and would house resources for the unhoused, violence interruption programs, and independent oversight bodies. This is an infrastructure proposal that centers the community and is in line with how hundreds of cities are adjusting to systemic failures, magnified in the wake of national police homicides of George Floyd and Tyree Nichols, and by the deaths locally of folks like Joshua Oxendine, Jason Walker, and Jada Johnson. What if this council made a habit of consistently choosing the hard right over the easy wrong? Here's a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and some food for thought. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride towards freedom is not the Ku Klux Klaner, but the moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you and the goal you seek, but I can't agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically feels that he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by the myth of time and who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. Please consider the fact that lives have been lost as we waited to enact structural change here in Fayetteville. Some of you have been on council long enough to remember the video of Najee Hagans getting shot in the back by FPD Officer Aaron Hunt. You can recall that nothing changed systemically after his homicide. Council members stood with the family of Jason Walker and vowed that it wasn't over, but it was within your power to change things structurally after his death. Mr. Arwanski has been here several times to urge your action after his granddaughter's death. Please do the right thing and join us next Monday. Please come with an open heart and mind. Come ready to move policy forward.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan.
Thank you.
No, we have no further speakers.
All right, so we will close the public forum and move on. Item 9.01, presentation of appointments, committee recommendations for boards and commissions. Councilmember Hare.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, as we move forward to put into nomination our commissioners for several boards. I will lean to my left or my right to my fellow council members that are committee members, Mayor Pro Tem Dawkins, Councilmember Thompson, and Councilmember Ingram are members of our committee. So I may lean to the left or the right of them. I have about 60 names I'm going to read out, and some of the names could be a little bit challenging, so we'll see how it goes. I put into nomination for the airport committee, commission, Quiderick Covington, Karen Urick, Lisa Marie Hondros, Nanis S. Medeth, and Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Milburn. For the Community Police Advisory Board, William Grace, is that Bridget Najjar, Dr. Gregory Perkins, Jonathan Pratt, Deborah Slaughter, and Dr. Bullock. For the Fair Housing Board is Erica Clark. Fayetteville Next Commission, Crystal Childress, Nathan Cuffey, Nylan Dombrowski. Oh, I did good. Nobody corrected me. Okay. Rohan Patel and Savannah Shields. For our Historic Resource Commission, Michael Hauk, Jennifer Lockhart, Rebecca Meredith, Michael Pinkston. For our Human Relations Commission, Crystal Edmonds, Demetria Murphy, Reverend Dwight Palmer, and Dakisha Upchurch. For our Joint City and County Appearance Commission, Edward Delaney. Our Linear Park is Captain Brian Del Rose, Lathan Hodges, and Joy Potts. For our North Carolina Fire Relief Fund is Stephen McCorkadale. All right. For our Parks and Recreations Board, June Vinson. Personnel Review Board, Jovan Bowser, Frederick Cutter, Christy Gibson, Carl Mitchell, Larry Simmons, and Dakisha Upchurch. Our Planning Commission, William Fitton, Larry Marshall, Motrell Marique, Victor Sharp. For our Public Arts Commission, Marquel Burns, Nicholas Harden, and Andrea Trago. For our Senior Citizens Advisory Board, Brenda, Batisa? Okay, we'll go for that. And Nina Davis. For our Stormwater Advisory Board, Mark Crow, Frederick Cutter, Edward Grannis III, Charles Matthews, and Amanda Smith. And thank the Lord for our very last nominee for our Zoning Commission, Justin Herb. Council members, I introduce these nominees for the boards and commission just announced. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Very good, Councilmember Hare.
Whew, that was about
All right,
61
so
names.
council has a motion on the floor,
Second.
recommendation from the Appointments Committee Chair, Councilmember Harris, seconded by Councilmember Ingram. Discussion on the motion to make the following appointments. All right, council, I look to you for your votes. Let's see if iPads will cooperate. All right, show of hands. Those in favor? Those opposed? All right. So, yeah, motion carries by those present. Those in opposition, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin.
So move to adjourn, sir.
All right, have a good evening.